Hey, we're back.
Remember us? We're back.
Week
32.
Week 32, we took a big gap.
With a big break in between. So, and last time we came to you, we were going to go to Hobart, to Tassie for a couple of months. But we changed our plans because that's what happens when you're on the road.
Yep.
Sadly, we had to go home for a little while and spend a bit of time with my mum, who wasn't very well.
Yes.
And who sadly passed away. So we've spent a bit of time at home with family and my dad and Aid's family, and now we're back on the road heading up the east coast this time.
Yep. So just postponed Tassie. That's going to come later.
So our first stop this time was not far from home in the Yarra Valley, near Noojee, Toorongo
Waterfalls. Yep.
And campground, and we stayed with family with my crazy sister and brother-in-law, and with my dad. That was a little gem.
Yeah, that was awesome. Beautiful little campground just tucked away. You can bring dogs, and it's just a free campground. Pit toilet, so it's just basic, but for a weekender, it's magic. It was about an hour and 20 minutes from home in Melbourne. Yeah, we live on the eastern side of Melbourne, so it's a bit closer. But
beautiful spot though.
And amazing spot. The walk through there, I reckon, was just one of the best walks.
So that was about a 3-kilometre loop walk to go and see the falls, and there's 2 different sets of falls that you go and see, and really pretty waterfalls. But the walk itself is beautiful. Yeah,
Toorongo Falls and Amphitheatre Falls are the 2 falls. Toorongo's probably the bigger, slightly more spectacular, but an amphitheatre is sort of spread across a little bit. But then the walk down from Amphitheatre back down to the bridge and back down to the campsite, the river and the green on the rocks and that, it's just absolutely magic. It was a beautiful place. You put it in your top 5, didn't you? I put it in my top 5 of walks around Victoria. I put it up there with, Halls Gap and Grampians, Wilson's Prom,
really
and Great Ocean Road. It was just magic little walk. It was fantastic.
It is meant to be apparently the wettest place in Victoria, so probably take your jacket. But I think that's why it didn't rain when we were there. It's more just that it doesn't dry out because there's so many trees around and it's kind of rain.
It doesn't get a lot of sunshine either. So, I mean, if sunshines, we sort of try and be self-sufficient as much as we can. So solar power was, a challenge.
But we were okay there for a few
days.
We
were okay for a couple of days.
Living on solar.
Yeah.
And at Noojee, going to Noojee and the Noojee pub for lunch was excellent. Beautiful views from there, and the heritage centre's really quite quaint, isn't it? Little heritage centre gives you.
So it was a logging area, Powtown, all that sort of thing through there. So there's still active timber mills and sawmills around there. So I think the train system was built to transport logs and timber and that out of the forest there.
And there's an awesome trestle bridge which we didn't get to because it
was shut.
It was closed.
The bridge is not shut, but the access to it is shut.
You could do a longer walk to it, but we kind of ran out of time.
Yeah.
We didn't pace ourselves so well this time, but we'll definitely go back and do the trestle bridge because that looks awesome.
Yep.
And then we took the drive out to Omeo from there, which was quite a drive, but it was, again, just stunning. I'm just blown away by what a beautiful part of the world we live in, really.
But it's part of the Alpine Way through there and that, and it really is just beautiful. And Omeo is a nice little town. It was a nice little sort of caravan park we stayed at, tucked away in there, and it was nice to have a a shower after a couple of days of not showering.
That was the best bit.
That's always good.
It was cold, but not unbearably so. Not snow weather, and it was about to get a whole lot colder because then we went up to Kosciuszko National Park.
Had 3 nights at Diggings, Threadbow Diggings campground, which was beautiful.
We went via. Should talk a little bit about the trip up there because I thought that road was beautiful. It was a stunning drive up through Benambra, and then we stopped at. Where did we stop to get our Cankabane?
Yeah, so there's kind of 2 accesses in. If you're coming from the east, so from sort of the coastal side, you come through Jindabyne. If you're coming from the western side, you come up through Cankabane. So we came up through Cankabane, Kincoban or something.
So you're driving up kind of through the Snowy Mountains and Great Dividing Range, and it's just so pretty. Although
beautiful.
We did watch as the road kind of narrowed and then slowly became a dirt road, and even though we were still in Victoria, we felt like we were very isolated completely.
Yeah. Yeah, that was probably about, I don't know, I can't remember how long. It went on for a while, probably an hour or so, an hour's drive through the dirt road. But then you come out at on the Murray there. I can't remember the name of the town. But, we'll get back to you. Yeah, and then head on into Cancoban.
Yeah.
Good spot to fill up and that sort of thing. Get your passes for the parks. You've got to get a parks pass, so for access, and then also book $6 booking fee to get your site, and that's not just per night. That's for the whole, if you're going to stay 10 nights, it's still $6. So
yeah, that was a really good.
I think it's just a COVID thing they're brought in so they know who's in there and that sort of thing. Keep an eye on numbers. So but it was a beautiful spot.
We thought we were going to break down on the way
Yes,
up because
there was a steep ascent while the automatic transmission overheated because it was just 8.5 to 10 kilometres straight uphill, and it was uphill.
But windy,
windy,
uphill and very windy. If you've travelled through WA, all the roads are straight. Northern Territory, all the roads are straight. Get into Victoria and New South Wales,
they cannot build them straight,
and they're just windy all through all the hills.
Funny, you complain about them being too straight when you're in WA and Northern Territory, and then you complain about them being too windy. Yeah. But anyway, it's a really pretty drive. Yeah. It's a beautiful drive, and then you go past the Snowy Hydro scheme, which was really interesting. That was awesome to stop and have a bit of
look at that. Stop. You can go into the museum. We weren't so fast. We just read the information boards. So I love them.
Well, it's one of the 7 modern
civil engineering
wonders of the world, and it makes how much electricity?
70%. Of the renewable energy for Eastern Australia. And it can fast response power to light up peak hour for Brisbane, Canberra, Melbourne, Sydney and Adelaide, which are all like the biggest towns. Yeah. And that's almost every capital city.
Yeah. Well, definitely from the centre to the east.
Yeah. Other than Hobart, poor little Hobart.
It's going to be tough to pump it across the ocean.
So
it's amazing. It was an amazing place. It was an amazing thing to stop and have a bit of a look at. Yeah.
And then Diggings Campground, we would highly recommend staying there. It was again pit toilets. We'll back out camping, but really pretty. We were fortunate enough to see a double rainbow while we were there.
It's right on the bend of the river. I think it's the Thredbo River.
Yeah, it's the Thredbo River.
And it comes down from. So basically, if you drive from Cancoban past Thredbo, it's about 8, 9, 10 k's on the left, and then it's in there. So between Cancoban and Jindabyne, and so it's just right on the bend of that river, and it's a beautiful little spot.
You can walk to Thredbo from there, and you can also walk to. We did the Bullock's Hut walk, which was a couple of hours, and that was a pretty little walk along the river. We drove into Thredbo because it was a bit too far to walk, and then because we wanted to walk to Kosciuszko, so top of Australia. So to get to Kosciuszko, the very top, you catch the chairlift.
You can walk up as well.
You can walk up, and it'd be a hell of a walk.
You're going to do a 13-kilometre round trip hike at the top.
Unless you're going to camp for a few days, I would just catch the chairlift.
Keep your powder dry.
Catch the chairlift up, which is pretty cool in itself. Get to see the beautiful views, swing over the Australian Alps, and then 13 kilometres walk, which is the walk's pretty easy because it's well.
It's on one of those sort of metal gridded path things.
But the high altitude and because you're just going straight up all the time, I found it tough. I didn't think I was going to.
Well, we haven't done much exercise over the last few months. That's true. That's pretty unfit. We'll get fitter, hopefully. Or die.
Out of practice, one or the other.
So,
and the views from the top were beautiful. I was disappointed that there was one little information board at the top.
Yeah, as to why it was named Kosciuszko.
After
but
a
no
Polish freedom
information.
Fighter, but no there was no sundial or no.
Melbourne's that way, Sydney's that way. There was none of that. Yeah.
I think that's an oversight from the New South Wales government. And then from Diggings we went on to Lake Jindabyne, which again, beautiful, absolutely stunning.
Beautiful. I'd read about it as a kid. I was into fishing for about 2 years, and so I had this fishing magazine that had Lake Jindabyne in it, and I thought, as a kid, I remember looking, I think I've got to go there.
Something I never knew about you.
No, there you go. So I quickly aren't into fishing now, but I don't really like fish, so
But anyway, it's worth going to. The lake is really pretty lake. It's too big to walk all the way around. And actually, when we were there, it was flooded it was quite high and flooded in various parts. So while you could walk the path, a lot of the path was actually underwater. So you kind of had to detour.
You wouldn't want to have
around.
campsite 12.
No, you would not want to have campsite 12.
Wet in there. Yeah.
Very wet feet.
Yep.
Be on a waterbed.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's about it.
Is week 30.
That's week 32, yeah.
So busy week, but a really nice week, and nice to be back on the road and back in the Delhi.
Yep.
And
that's it.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Ciao. Bye.